Today, me nerds, I got for you guys an obscure anime horror game that if you haven't played, you better play. As long as you're okay with gore and, spooky games. I'm not just talking about like, oh my god, jump scare. No. The one with like the graphic gore scenes or like a lot of blood. Those type of games. Demonophobia is a Japanese horror game that was released, I believe, in like 2008, February 2nd, 2008, and it was published on a Japanese forum. It basically follows this very young girl who kind of goes to like this demonish world. She faces all the different 7 deadly sins, and like each of like the main like demons or villains that you have to survive from is based off of all of those sins. Also, the creator for the game just kind of ghosted. The creator was known as 237 and is also made the game called Xenophobia, and both are very similar. Something about it didn't really work out, and that kind of might have been the reason why the creator went into hiding. There are some rumors going around that like the creator also just went under a different pseudonym, is releasing a new game called Dynastasia. They think that 237 is now going by Window Frame. This is just something that you could probably find on like Lost Media Wiki, or like on Reddit, but there's not necessarily like proof because it's not like the creator went forward themselves being like, yeah, yo, this is me or anything. Dynastasia seems to follow kind of like a similar art style and game style as the other games, so it could be true. The day of the release of the game developer 237 ended up also attaching a file called the Omake File, and apparently it's supposed to kind of like summarize the game or explain the game's lore to the viewers. I found a site that translates it. The only problem is that it also kind of translates it into like Russian, but Google automatically can translate it to English, which is pretty cool. For some reason, the translation just doesn't really work on my computer, but I do have it up here on my phone. Keep in mind that it's a Google translation, so obviously it's not going to be 100% perfect. There is one thing that worries the world: the mysterious nature of the event that became a magnet for paranormal investigators. The essence of this incident is outlined below. On October 9, 2018, this article was taken from the Japanese newspaper Kojima, but was not published until 30 minutes ago. On the 10th of the 10th month, exactly at midnight, the house of businessman Kunikai-sen, while he was absent, disappeared in less than 30 minutes. The article is about a professional photographer who has been working on a project for a long time. A deep crater remained where the house once stood, suggesting a gas explosion, but the neighbors heard no explosion or vibration. Moreover, the neighboring houses were not damaged. The next day, in a park 300 meters away from the Kunikai family home, a housewife with a dog found splattered blood and pieces of flesh. Among other things, there was a human finger, so the police were called to the scene. This is a highly anticipated crime scene that has been reported to the police for 30 to 40 years. On the same day, in the same park, on the playground, the police found the body of a 40-year-old woman with no limbs and her face cut off. I still am not sure how this connects to the games, considering it's a 14-year-old girl. Like, the severe damage to the body made identification difficult. However, since the previous body was identified as that of Lord Kunikai's youngest daughter, Eri-san, the second body was determined to belong to Kunikai's wife. The murder weapon used on both victims was determined to be a blunt blade. No trace of the perpetrator could be found. A rumor has been circulating online that a large amount of saliva was found on Eddie's body, and both bodies were covered in a strange substance. But it is impossible to say for sure how true this is. The day before the incident, neighbors saw a white van stopped near the Kunikai house. Oh my god. You know what a white man needs. If you know, you know. The story of a former Soviet Union member who had been working on a crime scene for 3 years was told that the Kunakai family had been missing for 3 days. 3 days after the Kunakai family's house disappeared, Sakuri Kunakai's clothes with traces of blood were found at the site of the house. Now that is our main character, I believe. Sakuri, she's the 14-year-old girl who is the main character in our story. Kunakai's clothes with traces of blood were found at the site of the house. Sakuri Kunakai's whereabouts remain unknown. The police are looking for her as an important witness to the incident. So the girl is alive, everyone else is pretty much dead, and they don't know what happened. At least the police don't know what happened. The ending of the game probably doesn't make much sense to players, so I'll give a few clarifications. This article was originally published by the Japanese company Sakuri in 2008. What did Sakuri do in the end? The reason Sakuri ended up in this cruel labyrinth was to summon a demon, reeds. She gradually became interested in the occult, and one day she came across a book on black magic that described a ritual for summoning a demon. So basically she was dumb, and she did the thing you're not supposed to do by summoning a demon, and I'm guessing this is some kind of form of punishment or something. Probably. It had been an ordinary person in her place, nothing would have happened. However, Sakuri-san had some talent. The sacrifice of Sakuri-san's lives, plus sisters, plus moms, summoned a demon. In any case, the demon summoned by Sakuri, reads, had the power to destroy the human world. Ooh, spooky. The procedure was not simple, however, a second step was needed. The second step was to place the summoner into the depths of the labyrinth to destroy the seal. So basically, they set up Sakuri to destroy the world. Somehow. Weird. However, well, I don't think we should talk about it. It's likely that at first, when thrown into the labyrinth, Sakuri ended up throwing her guts around and splattering the floor with urine. That's lovely. I mean, to be fair, I would piss myself too if I was in some kind of hell with a bunch of demons who are trying to kill me. However, the higher beings of the demon world, shadow people, have established fair rules. The rule is that the summoned demon must help the person who summoned it with advice and restore its body. The demon's using her to end the world and trying to keep her alive because it needs her to end the world. By the way, in the labyrinth world, there is no such thing as death, no matter how you were killed. Even if the body is torn to pieces and ground into mush, it still feels pain. That is tragic. Oh my god, I'm already feeling so bad for Sakuri, and I haven't even played or tried the game yet. Young people, 2 times you were unable to return to your world. Sakuri failed to return to her world twice. Choosing before fear and pain, she is forever trapped in a labyrinth. She can't die even if she wants to. No longer human, Sakuri-san couldn't die, but she couldn't go crazy or accept it. That's interesting. So somehow, I guess it turned her into some kind of demon too? Or like some kind of like lost spirit in limbo. Perhaps 1 year in the labyrinth world corresponds to only the tiniest fraction of a second in the real world. She's just going to be spending eternity, and maybe like a small fraction of time will pass for us. That is very torturous, but honestly that does sound like a realistic version of what the Christian version of hell would be like. I'm a bit surprised that it is kind of based off of, you know, the Christian version of hell. At least I believe so, considering there's so many other religions that are specific to Japan. Sakuri-san's summoning of demons was the kind of deliverance she wanted. She was trying to get away from her family, I guess? What would cause her to want to summon the demon? It's really hard to follow. I will make sure to put the link in the description for the Omake File. Demonophobia is kind of considered the one genre called Guro, which is obviously just gore game. Guro means gore. It's pretty straight up. So you will expect it to obviously lean into a lot of those themes. I do want to show a bit of footage of me playing the game, but I'm gonna have to censor probably certain things depending on how bad it gets. I don't think my computer can run the game, or maybe because of like my computer's not familiar with like the programming language. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna watch a full game playthrough and react to you for you guys or whatever. A channel called Limp Through Tables has a death montage. That could be cool. it looks like chicken. It just looks like chicken crawling on her. What? Is it bad that I'm laughing at this? Poor Safi. I'm just gonna like turn off the volume. I don't know if that's like gonna be acceptable for YouTube. What? Oh. It feels like they're starting to get creative though with how they're killing her. Wow. I'm so sad. I would have really loved to play this game. Especially since I'm really into like story games and stuff like that. Okay, so now he's just like beating her up until she grows up. That's lovely. The worst part is that I'm pretty sure she just like remembers this. Like she's just living through this over and over again. Damn it, I would have really loved to play this. There's also kind of like this, I don't know if I want to say rumor or oh my god, this is a split. There's like this idea that the person who made the art is called someone that is like -3 degrees. I don't really know what that's supposed to mean or even if it's true. What? She just got like kamehameha'd by like some kind of demon. Oh my god. Just how many deaths are there? Damn, bro. I am censoring so much of this. Dude, this makes me so upset because this is like a 14-year-old girl. But she kind of brought it on herself. Like, considering the lore of the game is that she summoned the demon. I still don't really understand why she summoned the demon, but she did, and it just kind of feels like this is her punishment. Don't do black magic. This is what happens to you. Just gonna give a bit of credit to the video that inspired this one. The link in my description for Game Jolt, that's where I found you can download the game. I can't really get past this screen. But it is in English. I've noticed that other people seemed to have commented that they can play it, but others are also having problems, like where the game they can't further past a certain area. I don't suggest downloading it anywhere other than Game Jolt because other people have mentioned, oh my god, this site's definitely going to give me a virus for other places that they tried downloading the game from. Just be careful. The internet's a scary place. Anyway, if you want more anime recommendations or cosplay content or anything weeb related, otaku related, watch my other videos, please subscribe. And yeah, I hope we are both equally traumatized. Also, the creators that I mentioned, a lot of them just have it uncensored on YouTube. Have a good night, evening, morning, whatever day it is for you.